Tales from my D&D campaign.
Previously,
I have an amulet in my possession. I was hoping that Fadir and I could recharge it in some fashion, returning it to its former power.
dragons do tend to have treasure hoards. I think we can work something out.
You can raise the dead.
Now, I don't know how long it's supposed to take, but I say it takes a week to resurrect someone. Because it should take a week to resurrect someone.
Fadir?
My lady. So, are you going to go retake your lands now?
There's still much to do. But now that I have this, I can begin to rally allies.
Got to get rid of the space aids. Theory A, you think that you could attempt to transfer the ley line energy into the seed. Theory B involves capturing an incorporeal undead of some kind. As long as you aren't too squeamish about what you would do to this remnant of a once-living creature. How are we going to capture something incorporeal? Don't know yet, but it'll be easier to figure out with Zahir's help. Little one would rather risk his body than his moral code. Alright, let's go risk your physical body in the Shadowfell. Based on the information attained by the Rakshasas after the party's last Shadowfell incursion, Zahir was being transferred from a huge fortress with thousands of undead troops to a mountain stronghold deeper in Swain's territory with far fewer and yet somehow more dangerous guards. And for better or for worse, they had other priorities at the time, so they have definitely lost the chance to recover him during the transfer. Right, we have to fight the doorman at the mountain. Well, the objective is not to fight it. One of the possibilities, according to the Rajas, was that you meet the Guardian and don't fight it, because according to their divinations, you cannot beat it in direct physical confrontation, and will end up being chased by it if you try. So we're doing that, instead of just empowering a spirit seed. Zahir has needed to be rescued for some time now. True. The information they gave you is getting to be over a month old, but you know he was moved to a secure location. Vistria calls it Grand Mount, but the Shadowfell version is Mount Pillar. You're on a different continent now. The travel time from here would be pretty significant, so you would probably either teleport there and then plane shift, or plane shift from here or somewhere else friendly, and then teleport into Shadowfell. Could we find a natural portal like in the Dwarven Mines? Natural portals are great, because they wouldn't cost Black a 5th level spell slot, which doesn't recover till you come back, and avoids the drawbacks that happen if you plane shift and don't return within a week, but they tend to be hard to find, especially since most are contingent on time of day or weather conditions, junk like that. I don't think we plan to be there so long. And our plans go so well. I can handle the teleport. You handle the plane shift? Okay. This is where they start running into those limits on teleport, not to mention issues of which NPCs to drag along in the Shadowfell. More obviously, but Rainbow Dash, despite also being a leadership cohort and from the Shadowfell, runs into the same problem that she takes as many teleport slots as like 4 other characters. She's really effective against mobs of weak things. But we don't need so much help with weak things. How many eyes do we have? We don't have access to the one that is banked down south, so 6? It's rough, but they more or less conclude that they don't want to spend an extra pair of eyes for a round trip just to bring everyone. GE7 is clearly staying in Polaron, so the real question is, Liz or Dwarf Daggerface? Daggerface has been left out of a lot of stuff, but I'd be crushed if he died. You're going there to crush monsters. That's what I'm here for.
Want a duel for it?
I ain't afraid of ya. You should be. That actually seems kind of reasonable, as long as it's non-lethal, no crippling sort of duel.
Okay.
She has no problem with that request, doesn't argue it, but you do get the idea that non-lethal was not her default duel option. I think this would crush him. Well, we may bow to Draven's expertise on arcane problems, but Little One's more the authority on the military needs of a mission. We'll take whoever you want. Liz is a pretty good glass cannon, but Daggerface can heal with his aura. He can heal everyone badly hurt back up to half health within minutes for free. In the end, neither one of them might be effective in combat where we're going, and whoever we leave will basically be responsible for defending Polaron. They will have GE7 and the controller to organize the defense. Raven, do I talk to you or to the controller about converting one of the workers into a pooper scooper? They seem to have been taking care of that. Angel's actually seen a worker picking up one of those. Because horse poop is pretty significant, and that's like a normal horse. Yes, Rainbow Dash is literally taking elephant scale dumps. The obvious choice is to teleport to the mountain here in the relative safety of Vistria, then plane shift, getting as close as they can to the objective to minimize travel in the dangerous, undead-filled Shadowfell. Draven communicates with his son Tobin at the Basilica via a series of sending spells. They want to be able to make the round trip, teleporting back to Polaron when they're done, so rather than haul the linked Eldritch Eye with them to another plane and back, through Tobin, they get Jonathan to arrange for a hand agent and a small squad of soldiers to meet them at their teleport site and guard their return eye for the few days of their mission. Raven also asks Tobin about Vladimir, the 5th Vampire King from the Ytarran artifact bolts, taking the place of Cornello. The Archivist had heard rumors of this Vladimir, but never reliably confirmed, and Draven had a hard time dodging the subject of where he had found that info. Between the information from the Rajas and bits and pieces Tobin had read about this Mount Pillar, they knew to expect some kind of maze, but something jogged Mora's memory. She's heard rumors of a lost tale, of a lich being enslaved by a vampire king, but she's never heard the tale itself. All she knows is the rumor of it, and that it's tied to this mountain somehow. I'll roll knowledge religion. Not a great roll, but you're very certain that you should use bludgeoning weapons against a lich. If it's just damage reduction, I can overcome that. I'm built to kill undead. You get me and Black close to a lich, we'll take it down. We're both built for ass-kicking. I'm honestly not scared of the lich, if we can get close. It's the defenses of a lich that I'm a little scared of. Anyway, let's go fight undead. So with Daggerface in tow, they teleport to the Vistrian province of Grandmount and meet up with Westshire Wes, an agent of the Hand of Sirius who is sent there with a handful of soldiers. Planar travel is a little out of his league, but Wes has been briefed on what he needs to know. The regulars think it's all really weird. They're to guard some creepy eye? What the hell even is that? Oh, and don't touch it, because it can melt your face. Wes grunts agreement and nods, even though you're pretty sure he knows better. Okay, so you guys casting any buffs before you plane shift? Buffs before even going over. Yeah, I have my full suite of buffs. I'm putting Holy on my crossbow and casting Mass Fly. They didn't get all that many specifics from the Rajas, but they know roughly what side the dungeon entrance is on, and that they'll have to climb. The entrance is not conveniently at ground level. But most importantly, they've been warned that there is a spirit shackle within the mountain, which of course bars teleportation in its vicinity. If they want to teleport out of the mountain, even just Dimension Door, they will need to disrupt the shackle using their Centura Stone. The spirit shackle also means they can't plane shift in the immediate vicinity, but based on their previous experience, Draven figures 100 yards from the mountain is a sufficient safety margin. Alright, I'll open a portal. Okay, you pass through together and find yourselves in a massive field of zombies all over the place. It's like you made a really wrong move in The Walking Dead. We're surrounded, but we can just fly over them. Yes, it's a little tight. 5-6 foot zombie can attack targets up to 10 feet high, which leaves a maximum 7 feet of clearance between them and the plane's ceiling, of which the top 1 to 2 feet is actually hard to push into. The last foot grows exponentially harder until the energy required is essentially infinite. 17-foot ceiling. Can't we fly Superman style? If you want. Regardless, there's nowhere you can go to avoid large monsters, but you can fly out of reach of medium creatures, as long as they don't have reach weapons. Though these guys get a couple crappy swings as you take off. I could blistering radiance them. And hit us too. It's 2d6 fire damage, who cares? It would easily clear all zombies from a 50-foot radius. 50-foot radius, Jesus! It is a little demoralizing as you think about it though. Plotting it out, you could drop 4 castings of that spell and kill fewer than half the zombies on this side of the mountain. Instead, Draven casts Hide from Undead, so they don't get a horde following them. The level 1 spell makes the entire party invisible specifically to undead, including senses other than sight, but intelligent undead, like vampires or liches, would get a saving throw, which they would probably succeed since it's only a level 1 spell. Thus shrouded, they fly up to the mountain, then begin to ascend. One of the few places you can go higher than 17 feet, and even then, only by sticking close to the slopes. Soon, Angel and Draven spot a narrow path leading up the side. It's quite steep, but it's enough that it would be more walking than climbing. It's enough to prove that they're in the right place, guiding them to the entrance. So this Guardian the Rakshasas said was guaranteed to kill us. If we fight it, they never said it was guaranteed to kill you. They just said you can't defeat it, okay? But guaranteed, it's not taller than 20 feet. Well, in fact, as you rise up, a wide ledge comes into view. On one side, it's sheer, like straight down. On the other side, it's accessible by the steep path. Over here, you see a small opening, more a crack than a door, and there's a guy. I was gonna say. But it's just a dude? Well, he looks pretty human. pretty normal proportions. In fact, he's so normally proportioned that for a second your brain didn't clue in that he's actually a little over 8 feet tall, so he is fairly sizable. So what do we do? Do we just start blowing him away from a distance, or do we parley?
We can't beat him. Yeah, I know, but... Or he can't be destroyed.
What do the Rakshasas know?
I don't know. I say we do what we do best. Just beat the shit out of things.
I don't know. We could try talking to him. You never know. There might be something. They said that one of the possibilities, that was not wholly unlikely, was that you pass by him without any real conflict. The other main possibility was that you try to fight him, realize you can't win, and end up being pursued by him through the mountain, and you have to reach and defeat the entity guarding Zahir and the treasure before the Guardian catches up, because if you're sandwiched between them, you're screwed. Let's try to talk to him.
Maybe we can bribe him. Bribe our way in.
I have a high diplomacy, and I figure, worst case, I can drop a wall of force or something. Maybe that's what we need to buy us time to get into the labyrinth.
I have a horrible need to prove the Rakshasas wrong and destroy this thing.
Yep, they saw that possibility.
Does he have any weapons?
No weapons. There is a heavy gravestone leaning on the wall beside him, not planted in the ground or anything. It looks like a gravestone that is a little weathered, but has never been used. He's going to whack people with the gravestone?
I got a 30 on my martial lore check. Does it look like it's been used like a weapon?
No. There's no sign of that, though its shape is a little off. It's about 3 feet by 2 feet.
It's a shield.
Maybe. You can't see any straps or anything, but they could be on the other side. Does it say anything on it? It's engraved, "In memory of our beloved Alice. She was taken from us far too soon."
Who's Alice? Who cares? Alright, talk.
I have pretty good diplomacy.
How good?
I have plus 27. Okay then. We're looking for a friend of ours. May we pass? Unfortunately, I have pledged to protect this place. My word cannot be broken. Who have you pledged this to? Swain, the master of these lands. Why? You would not understand. Perhaps not. Who are you? They call me Balvan, the Millstone.
Who's Alice?
She was my daughter.
Why do they call you the Millstone? He grinds people into the ground.
Yeah. He just shrugs. Very talkative. But then, oddly, he perks up. What? Have you brought that back to me? Me? You follow his eyes and finger and realize he's looking at the Ring of Sloth.
Where did we get that?
From one of the 3 riders. Last time we were in the Shadowfell.
But it belonged to him?
I really liked it. It was taken from me long ago. I thought it was lost.
Could we pass for it?
Where did you find it?
Like almost everything we got. The owner attacked us, so we killed them.
I'll just tell him. Some of Swain's guardians at another spirit shackle, further east. One's not as social as you. I owe my loyalty to Swain, but since it appears it was his men who were keeping it from me, I could give you 24 hours. In the maze? Yes, if that is what you seek. I don't suppose you have a map to the maze. No such map exists. If you enter, I must pursue you, but on this day, I will not hurry. You should have 24 hours to attempt to do whatever you came for. That is the most I can offer, for I must keep my word. Do not let me catch you after that. The thing is, this thing gives me some considerably good DR. If we give it to him, then end up fighting after 24 hours, we've just empowered an enemy.
I don't know if we want to give it up, but I'm not worried about him having it.
Are you okay with it?
I have an idea to distract him that won't give us a whole day, but may give us some time. I could toss a headstone down the mountain.
That's just going to aggro the hell out of him. Rude.
Well, yeah.
You seem like a reasonable fellow, and I feel bad for your situation. Is there anything we could do to free you from your oath? I appreciate the thought, and I can see that you are honorable folk, but I'm afraid this matter is beyond your power. Does Swain have Alice? It is more complicated than that. We do have a bolt with his name on it.
Would you kill Swain?
No, that would be quite dishonorable, considering my position. I will see him die, one way or another, though. Even vampire kings are not truly immortal. All right, I'll give him the ring. When you hand it to him, he takes it, and it phases into his hand. I'm going to eject the bolt, the one with Swain's name, and hold it up to show it to him as we walk past into the cave. Which is stupid. It's just a moronic thing to do, but I have to, for coolness. He may or may not understand that the bolt is a crazy artifact. Probably not, but he nods, acknowledging what it means all the same. As Little One passes, you sense that this guy has some kind of very powerful connection to chi energy. So he's a monk?
Or a powerful warblade. Chi is how I do fire attacks and stuff like that.
So an indestructible warblade probably does mountain hammers all day long?
More like crushing vice of the mountain. They call him the Millstone.
What's crushing vice of the mountain?
Bad. Stuff that I can't do. Hold on the off chance that he's a 20th level warblade, what's the most powerful stone dragon strike? Oh yeah, look at this. Mountain Tombstone Strike. That's an appropriate name. 2d6 con damage. If he is a level 18 plus warblade, he could do that every second round. Yeah.
While full attacking in the round in between. Just f*** someone up.
Even a 13th level one could do Colossus Strike, which is plus 6d6 damage, and save or be knocked back 1d4 squares. He is within 1d4 squares of the cliff.
Alright, these things are bad. So we don't have any chance of defeating him?
According to the Rakshasas. Oh, I think we have a chance.
If he's just a level 15 warblade and not some kind of freak monster, you guys would win. He'd just hurt a bit first. So, they say it's a maze.
You might want to cast Find the Path.
The entrance was a low, narrow crevice, but once through, it's big enough that nobody needs to duck down. After a short natural passage, you emerge into some ruins. The walls here may once have been polished smooth, but that polish had been worn and pitted by time. It is dark in here, so you will need light for Black and Mora. Well, unlike so many first-person shooters, my crossbow has a flashlight built in.
Don't you have dark vision from your goggles?
Yeah, but flashlight is still good for Mora and I.
Unless Mora was secretly a drow.
All this time, she takes off her makeup.
Actually, it'd be more of a twist if Black was a drow.
The name kinda gives it away. Black casts the powerful Find the Path divination. It can't target a creature like Zahir, but he asks for divine guidance to find the spirit shackle within the mountain. They'd need to find and break it to teleport out anyway, even Dimension Door. And it seems like there's a good bet it'll be in the heart of the dungeon, hopefully with the prisoner held nearby. The powerful spell doesn't give you a map in your head, it just gives you the next direction for the most direct path to your objective, updating as you go. Like a car's GPS. Looks like we go straight ahead. Angel quickly scouts the room to the right, finding it empty, except a corner where the floor broke away, revealing a crevice down to unseen running water. The correct path, down a spiral stair, leads through an 80-foot passage, lit by a pair of torches every 4 feet, each burning with a green flame.
I wave my hand through one of the flames.
Like continual flame spells, it appears to be heatless, harmless light.
They cost 50 gold piece to cast.
Find the Path indicates you should go down the one route available.
I thought this was supposed to be a maze. Doesn't seem like much of a maze.
We'll see.
What if it's not a literal maze? It's psychological or something.
Possible. This passage opened into natural tunnels which split 3 ways. One curving up, one level, one curving down. Do you want to go for the full clear? Just use Find the Path to avoid the direct route and explore every passage? No, let's go the right way. Which is the left way, by the way.
We're on the clock.
Their path is bisected by flowing water. Upstream it narrows, too tight for even Angel to pass. Downstream it widens, but Black leads them across it, turning right at the fork, right into a solid wall.
This flat part has got to be a door. Not sure how to open.
According to Find the Path, this door will open when we present one of the green flames, which would have been good to know when we were up there. Find the Path is so powerful that it actually tells you how to circumvent obstacles, but my interpretation is, it's not so good about telling you in advance. God damn it.
Angel moves fast.
A couple poor wisdom checks slow her down as she runs back, retracing their steps through the confusing, winding tunnels. But even then, the swift assassin is back within 5 minutes, with one of the green torches, and once it is held near the wall, the heavy slab of stone slides out of the way. As you move forward, the tunnel opens even wider. The slope is less steep, but then the light begins to falter, which is pretty odd. The green flame? All light in the area. It's actually more like a haze of darkness encroaching, and it encroaches more and more, the island of light around you dimming and shrinking.
Dark vision?
Your dark vision doesn't help at all, so it's clearly magical darkness, closing in with every step you take forward. And forward is still the direction, according to Find the Path.
I'll switch stance to Hearing the Air. Gives me blind sense 30 feet.
Hearing the Air, aka Smashing the Darkness, 30 feet is far enough that even as the darkness swells around you, Little One can still feel the presence of the walls from the reflection of your footsteps and clicking armor sounds. You know how I used to like the Shadowfell better than the Feywild?
Feywild.
Everything was fine until this. Looking around, you can no longer see where you came. Yeah, see, this is the bullshit, right here. Little one can tell the walls are only 25 feet apart, so not even that far, but you can't see them. The radius around each of your light sources, Black's Mace, Moore's Green Torch, are all around 3 feet now, so dim illumination out to 6 feet, only a little more for the cone from Draven's crossbow. I cast Daylight. Okay, your spell illuminates the entire space, as though pushing the darkness away. You can see the walls and everything, like, Then slowly it starts closing back in. Run? Yeah, see, I don't want to be here anymore.
Oh, suck it up.
Jesus Christ. Oh man. Actually, within the power of the Daylight spell, and because you haven't been moving forward, it hasn't encroached quite as far. You can still see the walls, faintly. But as soon as they try to advance again, after only 10 feet, the walls disappear into the blackness once more. They know the path lies ahead, but they don't know how far. A moment later, the widening walls have spread far enough that Little One can no longer sense them, though the floor and ceiling show his senses are not failing him. Listen, we're going to sidestep 10 feet to the right.
Yeah, see if I can find the wall again.
Okay, you shuffle that way, but quickly lose sight of everything, including each other. What? Then a village fades in around you. For a moment, you feel a faint summer breeze, but when it dies down, everything is oppressive, muggy, humid heat. You can feel your sweat-soaked clothes sticking to your skin, and your muscles ache and your belly growls and squirms, slowly devouring itself in the absence of food. You can make a will save. I believe it's mind affecting.
26.
36. 21. So, Black passed. Just Black?
I'll use a diamond mind maneuver to re-roll, no. Angel rolled 30 and more on 26.
30 does it.
What?
30 succeeds. I'm gonna yell out to Draven. Can I do that? You yelp in pain as Ralph's whip cracks against your bare shoulder, the pain searing as though it were a blaze, though you know it's nothing but a strip of poorly tanned leather. I saw you pause there, worm. Lollygagger. Pipsqueak. You're starting to look like my laggard of the day. One child every day is punished, supposedly the one who worked the slowest, though Ralph would pick whoever irked him instead. He's leaning down as though to whisper in your ear, but his voice is loud enough for all to hear and stinks of rye. With the suddenness that shocks yourself, the self you are being and the self you really are, you spin and hack at his head once with the side of your shovel blade. He falls to his knees, and you know you've done it now. There's no other way but to bash him a second time, right in the face. You drop the shovel, your little mud-slimed, sweat-slippery fingers scrabbling at Ralph's belt to get the keys. You hear him breathing, rasping as you fumble, trying the different keys until you find the one that opens your bonds, and you run. Your legs ache, torn between the sting of overwork and the drive of adrenaline. You have to get as far as you can. The two of you who passed your saves, deep down your mind whispers that what you are experiencing is not real, that you are a different person, that you aren't here, you are elsewhere, in a hurry, in danger. But it is so difficult to fight the power, the reality of the sensations you are experiencing. You cannot shake yourself out of it, nor can you control your actions. But those of you who passed your save are able to detach yourself slightly, like a partially lucid dream. You still feel every drop of sweat and the fatigue of every shovel stroke, but you keep a sense that you are Black, you are Angel, and you are only an observer. So we're good. The rest of you are feeling everything, without any awareness of your true self or memories. I really hate Ralph. Next time on Tales from My D&D Campaign. So we don't have any chance of defeating him?
According to the Rakshasas. Oh, I think we have a chance.
I'd ballista throw him off the cliff.
Nice.
Well, okay then.
This shield weighs like 250 pounds. That's rough on my carrying capacity.
It's definitely magical. Let me identify it. Shit.
He can fly? No. Run!